US markets sort of find themselves in an interesting, potentially difficult place at the moment now that we're the other side of the latest round of US-China trade talks. Obviously, those talks produced what has been labelled a partial trade deal. However, at the moment, that seems to be one of the instances where there isn't anything yet concrete to back up the positive words that sort of came out after the weekend. The next 3 weeks are meant to see the writing of the phase one of that deal. However, a bill recently passed in the House of Representatives called the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act that would end the special trading status between the US and Hong Kong if the city's authorities have been deemed to be breaching human rights and the rule of law, which at the moment could very easily be the case, seems to have caused tensions to arise between the US and China. I think reportedly there was strong indignation from China. There was reports that Beijing had warned of strong measures of retaliation if the bill were to then pass in the Senate and go on to become law in the US. And there does seem to be support from it from both sides, both Republicans and Democrats in the US. So that is a genuine potential spanner in the works of this partial trade deal before really it's even got off the ground. The US delayed their October tariffs, but they didn't reverse the ones they'd put in place in September, and there are still more likely to be implemented in December. So already it's looking like this partial trade deal, which did send the Dow Jones back towards 27,000, after being sort of in the doldrums at the start of October, it now leaves the Dow Jones in a tough spot. And looking at now, the index sort of needs to defend its gains over the next few weeks, whilst doubt seemingly grows over the likelihood that this partial trade deal will come to mean anything at all with this new Hong Kong issue arising between the two superpowers. You've also got in 2 weeks' time, you've got the next Fed meeting. That's something that will come to sort of be at the forefront of investors' minds more and more as the meeting approaches. It's again a big question over, will the Fed cut rates for a third time in a row? Will they go even further than that? I think there was mixed signals coming out of the last meeting, even though they did cut rates, because that wasn't a unanimous decision. So it'll be interesting to see come the end of October what position the central bank sits in heading into the final few months of the year. It's also earnings season. Earnings season really could be the decider for the Dow Jones at the moment and the rest of the US markets, dependent on how much uncertainty there is over this US-China trade deal. You've got the banks this week. You'll move on to other sectors as the month goes on, and whether or not their sort of net positive could be the thing that either helps the Dow Jones defend that 27,000 level or see it drift from that level if more and more discord grows between the US and China over this Hong Kong issue.